From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News Weekend Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Saturday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. I'm Katie Looper. Our top story tonight. The bodies of 9 people who died in the crash of a small float plane near Ketchikan have been recovered. The Dow de Havilland Otter was being operated by Promec Air as a cruise ship shore excursion for Holland America's Miss Westerdam. Even though weather and terrain hampered the operation, a team recovered all of the victims Friday. A U.S. Coast Guard C-130 carried the 9 to Anchorage, where the State Medical Examiner's Office will confirm their identities. Federal Aviation Administration investigators have assumed control of the scene and started work on the probe of the crash today, trying to figure out what went wrong.
We had 9 fatalities in this accident. It's a tragic accident. We're going to conduct a thorough investigation. We're going to be in Ketchikan and on scene for the next 5 to 7 days, longer if it's necessary.
Forest fires are continuing to burn around Fairbanks in every direction. Rain showers this weekend will help improve the air quality, but it will not completely eliminate the smoke. According to a report from the Alaska Interagency Coordination Center, there are 9 new wildfires burning. That brings the total amount of active wildfires to 322 statewide. Today's smoke is mainly coming from the Blair Fire, 40 miles south of Fairbanks. The Aggie Creek Fire 30 miles north of Fairbanks is causing sporadic road closures on the Elliott Highway near mile 34 and 35. More than 400 firefighters continue to battle the Rex Complex fire near Anderson, but at this point it is only 10% contained. Smoke levels have slowly decreased over the week with high humidity, but the local air quality division is forecasting air quality as unhealthy to moderate. No restrictions are in place, but drivers should remain extra cautious on roadways because of the thick smoke.
People just need to be careful when they're driving. Sometimes the smoke can be thick. You don't see, more than a quarter mile, half mile in front of you. So even if it's during the day, which it's always during the day here in the summer, right? They need to drive with their lights on. They need to drive slow. They need to be careful. They need to have some situational awareness and watch for fire traffic on roads, watch for animals. I mean, the things you would always watch for.
After decades of national debate, the U.S. Supreme Court yesterday decided that the state bans on same-sex marriage are unconstitutional. For the 13 states that had yet to legalize gay marriage, including Alaska, the decision forces their hand. Same-sex couples in any state can now legally tie the knot. For Alaska same-sex couples, the decision means the right they won in October when a U.S. District Court judge overturned a 1998 Alaska constitutional amendment defining marriage as between one man and one woman will remain intact. The suit in that case had been brought against former Governor Sean Parnell by 5 Alaska same-sex couples. Parnell's administration had appealed the decision to the 9th Circuit Court of Appeals. Since October, 177 Alaska same-sex couples have married according to the State Bureau of Vital Statistics records. Fairbanks police are also continuing their investigations into a separate shooting that happened near another local bar. An unidentified victim was shot in the leg after being followed out of the parking lot of Kodiak Jack's last week. Though the injuries were not life-threatening and the 2 suspects were apprehended after a short pursuit, neither has been formally charged. Police say that this is because they are gathering the evidence. One of the men is a Fairbanks resident and the other from Anchorage. Both were driving a rental car during the time of the shooting. The 2 could face charges including attempted murder and felony assault, but none have been formally filed.
I've had several conversations with the DA's office as recently as this morning to see if there's any steps that they want taken in this particular shooting case. They're comfortable with where the investigation has been, where it is now, and where it's going. Of course, we have a balancing act. We have the legal requirements, and we want to make sure people's constitutional rights are protected, and we have a hurdle that we have to clear, and that's called probable cause.
When we come back, people around Fairbanks are gathering at the Golden Heart Plaza this Sunday to dance. We'll have the details. Also, fire crews have been working hard to extinguish the fires burning around our state, but they still have their work cut out for them. Those stories and more when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back. Despite the increase in rainfall, efforts to extinguish the fires throughout Alaska are still of the highest priority. Mike Schultz has more in this report.
Even though the rains have been falling steadily, the folks at the fire headquarters for the Aggie Fire have been working feverishly. Incident Commander Mark Rosenthal from St. George, Utah says there's still a lot of work ahead.
The Aggie Creek Fire, which is a little over 15,000 acres, has obviously a large perimeter to it, and it's got heat all the way around it. So we're in the process of bringing in a lot of crews to begin to work the edges. We have several values at risk: the Alyeska pipeline, fiber optic cables that are associated with that, as well as a number of cabins in the area, both privately owned and up in the White River National Recreation Area.
Another group of folks who will be working the fire are volunteers from an organization called Team Rubicon. This mix of military and other walks of life donate their time and skills wherever a crisis is happening.
It's just a great way to give back to the community and give back to those that have served. We do a lot of community events where we rebuild homes for fallen soldiers, for their parents. We go up, we rebuild their homes. So it's a way to give back a little bit more than just saying thank you.
When the BLM and Team Rubicon came together, it was just a win-win situation where they have people with the skill set that they need in order to help mitigate during a time that they need it, and we can provide that.
Honestly, I mean, I'm just trying to learn the works of the fire crew and get in with them. My goal is to actually work with the Wyoming BLM next year.
I'm actually a 20-year structure fire, retired captain. So this was just an opportunity to kind of get my feet back into the fireside. I forget how different wildland is than urban, so it's just learning how to crawl all over again.
One update, the Rex Complex fire has been receiving continuous rains, which is good. But unfortunately, another heat wave is on tap for the upcoming week, which means fires could rekindle once again. And we're back to square one. Mike Schultz reporting.
Alaska now has the 28th highest adult obesity rate in the nation, according to a recent report from the State of Obesity Project. Researchers suggest that these rates may affect our national security. This past week, I was in North Carolina and filed this report. Hey everyone, I'm here in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. I'm here for a family wedding, but I got the chance to sit down and speak with Ariana Behringer. She's an Iraq War veteran and also the founder of a nonprofit organization called One Push-Up. So let's get right into it. What's the mission?
The mission of One Push-Up is to empower our communities by providing them with good food, and as a matter of national security, doing so.
Okay, so tell me, where did this all start from?
You know, it all started kind of based upon my personal story. I grew up the youngest of 10 kids in a family that lived well below the poverty line, and 2 months after 9/11, I enlisted in the United States Army. At that time, they told me I was overweight. And it was really shocking to me because I was a competitive high school athlete and could, master physical fitness. And it wasn't until years later, and having 2 kids of my own, that it finally dawned on me that it wasn't my level of physical fitness, but my level of nutritional education.
So bringing this back to Alaska, Alaska's adult obesity rate is 28%, up from 23.5% in 2004, and up from 15.7% in 1995. And I know Alaska's got a number of military bases, so what can we do to change this rate?
Well, and the military also struggles from obesity, and right now we're seeing 1 in 4 young adults are unable to serve in today's military because of obesity rates. So if we can start by providing our kids at school with healthy school lunches from local farmers and developing their education in nutrition, we will not only see a healthier adult population, we'll see a healthy military population, and together, collectively, we'll be able to grow healthier as a nation.
So real quick, what can the individual do right now to start changing this?
Right now, individuals can reach out to their local schools and administrators and say, you know what, we really want our local farmers to provide that food for our school lunches. And I know that many people think that that's a hard task, but the Los Angeles Unified School District, easily the largest school district in the nation, is already doing this.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yes.
So Ariana, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. You've given us a lot to think about. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Katie.
It's It's been dry as a bone in the interior, and despite the showers this morning, organizers are two-stepping their way into an even rainier forecast. Rainmaking is a weather modification ritual historically performed by Native American tribes in attempts to invoke rain. This Sunday, organizers are inviting the public out to the Golden Heart Plaza to dance for rain. This free and family-friendly boogie is to begin at 4 p.m. Rain-inspired music selections will be played and suggestions are being taken on the Fairbanks Dancing for Rain Facebook page. Event coordinators Bailey Carlson and Michael Schaefer say the event will go in smoke, shine, or rain, and no dancing experience is required.
It's been 48 hours.
48 hours. And we've already got over 2,000
responses. Yeah. Every day we've had 1,000 people invited, and we're kind of going to want to roll with that and keep 1,000 people every day. We'll take any suggestions, and you can find it on Facebook by Fairbanks Dancing for Rain and hashtag Fairbanks Dances.
Yeah, any genre, any rain-themed songs or lyrics, feel free to request them, and if we don't have it in our library, we'll download it and throw it in the mix.
Mike Fussel's coming up next with all your local sports action. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, sports fans. Mike Fussell here with your latest local action. While many athletes took the weekend off due to poor air quality and rainy weather, there were still some folks out and about getting active. In fact, around 30 runners braved the soggy and smoggy conditions earlier today for the Spruce Tree Classic. The 7.2-mile race was put on by Running Club North. It started at the UAF ski hut and winded through the university's trail system. The course would eventually loop back and finish where it began. The annual classic is considered to be a less competitive fun run, but has a history spanning more than a decade. William Mitchell came out on top this year, far ahead of the pack. He crossed the line with a time of 50 minutes and 1 second. The next runner finished more than a minute behind him. Mitchell says other competitors motivated him to speed up his pace when things got tight on the trail.
I was in second place for maybe about half the race before I got ahead going up a big hill. But then when I was coming back down a couple miles later, the girl that came in second was coming close to me, maybe about 10 yards behind me. And that gave me some extra incentive to run a little faster and get back ahead.
And while runners in the Spruce Tree Classic ultimately decided if they wanted to risk running in the weekend's smoky conditions, some other competitors did not have that choice. A number of other races were scheduled for this weekend but postponed due to poor air quality. The run from the Cops 5K, which was supposed to take place downtown today, will now be pushed back until August 1st. And the Jim Loftus Mile, which was set for Thursday at the West Valley track, will now take place on July 7th. The air quality of the Golden Heart City was still considered to be at an unhealthy level, according to the borough yesterday evening. But the smoke was not enough to keep the Gold Panthers from stepping out into the diamond against the Everett Merchants last night. The game ended up taking an unusual twist, and our cameras were there to capture the action.
The Alaska Gold Panthers game against the Everett Merchants remained scoreless until the 6th inning. It was then that the Merchants would get on the board. Matt Thompson scored on a wild pitch. The Panthers wouldn't give up, though. They managed to hang on with a Scooter Bynum RBI single in the bottom of the 9th. Everett pitcher Cody Culp threw a two-hitter, retiring 14 straight with 4 Ks in regular innings.
I mean, I felt good. Came into the game knowing that I had to throw strikes and pounded the strike zone early. Had some good innings, not a lot of pitches. Just kept rolling with it. Defense, great defense behind me. So I feel confident throwing it in the strike zone, letting them hit it when they need to, and defense makes plays behind us.
But the tied score ended up sending the game into extra innings. Both teams went tit for tat in the 10th, putting another run on the board each, tying it up at 2-2. The 11th ended up scoreless, stretching late into the evening.
I attack the zone and force contact, so my defense is going to have to be on point when they play behind me, and as you can see today, they definitely were.
At that point, just a week after the summer solstice, the matchup stopped and delayed because it was too dark out. Smoke and clouds contributed to the lack of light during a time when the midnight sun typically shines bright.
The first things first, you got to put up a 0 on the top half, and I'm hoping our guys can come in and do that right away, and then, just keep grinding like they were tonight. 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th right there. To be able to even scratch 1 across is pretty impressive, let alone to have the runner on third be the winning run. I think the guys will come out tomorrow ready to accept the challenge, and that's what we keep preaching to them: overcome adversity and just keep competing all summer, and good things will happen.
Officials decided to delay the game and finish it on Saturday.
And the Alaska State Match Play Championship Golf Tournament is now underway. The qualifying rounds in the men's, women's, and seniors divisions took place yesterday. Each golfer played 18 holes, fighting for seeding later in the competition. The event was organized by the Alaska Golf Association. After the first day of competition, Renee Baca finished on top for the ladies, shooting a 79, while Greg Sanders has the lowest gross score for the men with a tally of 71. The best senior division player, Gary Murdoch, isn't far behind him with a score of 72. And that about brings us to the buzzer for sports tonight. Katie Looper is up next with your full weather forecast. Thanks for checking in, and we'll catch you next weekend. And welcome back to our Saturday edition. You know, it was raining out there all day today. That's good for the forest fires. It'll help suppress them a little bit, but, you know, ultimately not going to put them out. Are we going to see some more rain in the forecast?
You know, sadly, next week is going to be a dry week for us. Now, Mike Schultz told me today that we need 2 weeks of rain to really suppress these fires and get rid of the smoke. So hopefully that'll come through. I know it sounds crazy. We're usually hoping for no rain, but at this point, we really need it. But let's take a look at the weather for today. There's a normal high of 74 degrees, a recent low of 52. A record high got up to 89 in 1938 and a record low of 34 in 1923. That's hard to believe it got so cold. Sun rose at 3:04 this morning and sets at 12:44. Our daylight equals 21 hours and 41 minutes altogether, giving us a loss of 6 minutes from yesterday. Now around this day today, Juneau and Ketchikan have partly sunny skies, 60 in Juneau, 69 in Ketchikan. We've got rain showers for Anchorage, Kodiak, and Cold Bay, temperatures ranging from 50 to 65. Bethel and Nome are looking partly sunny at 56 degrees. As for Barrow, cloudy skies for them at 39, and Fairbanks interior area is at 57 with rain showers. Now for the lower 48, we can see sunny skies in Seattle at 92. It's a little bit hotter in Vegas at 113. As we move over to the east, Minneapolis is raining with lightning and thunderstorms at 83 degrees. Same with New Orleans and Miami, but their temperatures in the low 90s. And as for New York, rain showers for them as well at 74. Things are going to change next week. There's a huge heat wave coming in through the west, yet thunderstorms in the Arizona, New Mexico area. As for the northeast, we can see thunderstorms for them as well. On the east coast, it's going to dry out in the New York area, but some spotty storms down there in the deep south. Now let's take it back. Air quality advisory up until 12 a.m. Sunday. Levels will continue to be unhealthy for Fairbanks and North Pole, and they suggest limit outdoor activities. But now as for northern half of Alaska, mostly sunny in Barrow and Nome. For rain for Fort Yukon, temperatures around 50 for Barrow, 57 in Nome, and 61 for Fort Yukon. Now in the interior, showers will increase throughout the day for all areas, temperatures around 70 degrees. And for the southeast, we can see rain showers for them as well, and temperatures in the upper 60s. On the west coast, we can see cloudy skies in Cold Bay, showers for Bethel and Kodiak, temperatures around the mid to upper 50s for Kodiak and Cold Bay, and 70 for Bethel. Lastly, in southeast, showers across the region, temperatures around the mid to lower 60s, and 58 for Valdez. Now for tonight's forecast, 52 degrees, numerous rain showers, and for tomorrow, 62, dense smoke and scattered rain showers, so let's hope that decreases our smoke. But like I was saying, 70 degrees nearly all week with sunny skies, sadly, and 50s for our nightly temperatures. And that's it for weather.
Yeah, you don't say sunny skies, sadly, too often, but it does fit the bill here.
Yeah, I mean, we were reporting over 300 wildfires currently burning. It's pretty intense.
And while it is wet out there today, it is important to remember that the burn ban is still in effect. So can't start up your charcoal grills quite yet.
Exactly. I was actually supposed to go to a bonfire tonight, but we're definitely not doing that.
It's good to be safe.
All right. Well, that'll wrap up this Saturday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. And as always, we're glad you could join us.
Join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at website11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a good night and a good weekend.
Good night.